All right, we're going to move on to their next two signings here. We've talked about Strus. We've talked about Niang. They also got Ty Jerome here, who's been a serviceable backup for the last 4 years, was a top guy coming out of college, out of Virginia. And I want to actually let Earl start with this because Earl came in this morning, and Earl said of all their signings, I think Ty Jerome might actually be one of their biggest, most impactful. I like that one the best. So, Anthony, tap Earl. Let him get on the mic. Earl, real quick before we break down the numbers, why are you so high on the Ty Jerome signing for the Cavs?
I think the dude is a pure shooter. I think he's somebody that, to me, being in Golden State with Steve Kerr and just learning from pros like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, I kind of felt like he got buried on a depth chart that had a lot of shooters on there. But I think this is a sneaky signing to me. I think this is a guy who can come in, immediately be your backup point guard. If he gets all the backup point guard minutes, I'm not mad at all. I do remember the game where he got the start against the Cavs last year, and he dropped 22 points, had 8 assists. Very good basketball player. Like you, I thought highly of him coming out of school. I think this is the one signing that is going to get overlooked, but he can have a huge impact right away.
Yeah, this signing to me tells me that the Cavs think Rubio's cooked. I don't know how much they're expecting from him. I know they had money to bring in an extra guard here, but a guy like Ty Jerome, who's 6'5", and a pretty good defensive player, I just don't know how much they still believe in Ricky Rubio as the full-time permanent backup behind Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Jason, did you get that feel with this signing? Or
I don't read it that way. I read it as he's the Neto replacement and an upgrade over Neto. I think Rubio is still – listen, maybe Rubio is cooked, but when they brought him back –
they knew it wasn't going to be last year. I
it was
understand that.
Yeah, it was always second year coming back from an ACL. The first year is always rough. It's always year 2 is what you look at. Like, they made that very clear when they brought him back. And I still think that holds. I think they want – Ricky meant so much to this team when he was healthy and when he was right. I think they want him to have the first crack at that. And I look at this as that Neto guy. He's certainly an upgrade over what Neto was.
Yeah.
Neto was that placeholder until Rubio was back and healthy. But I think Ricky has dibs on that spot. And then if he is washed, if it is over, now you've got someone that you can slide into that spot.
Man, listen, I liked him. I liked him at Virginia.
I loved him at Virginia.
I thought he was gonna be. I thought he was gonna be that deal. Coming out of 2019, he was doing this thing at Virginia. Like he got that one-leg step back game. He got the floater. He got the old man wide. He got the floater game. Like there's a lot of different games where he contributed double figures with the Warriors, right? He did hit us for 22. I was upset at that game. I was salty, because you know me. If you talk about Duke and knee jerk, I'm just like over here going crazy. My niggas was going crazy. I was like, who is this guy? Who is this dude? Yo, he can't miss neither. It was disrespectful, but I like the move.
Yeah.
Again, guess what? Guess what he can do? Shoot.
He shot 39% from 3 last year.
Once again, look, I know y'all want athletes. Listen, we got enough athletes for 2 or 3 teams. Now I need guys that can come in, and the most disrespectful thing that can happen to you when you're in the playoffs is if you're a coach and you know you need to make a move. You know what the move is, but you look down the line and say, oh, Lord, I can't play you. Yeah. I definitely can't play you.
That's what happened in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, everyone who was coming down on JB was like, what would you like him to do? Look who he has to pick
Sam
from.
Merrill.
Yeah.
Save the day, Sam.
Merrill, what's up, Sam? Merrill Lynch, what's up, bro? You got something? Nah. Is this guy going to come in, and is he going to be
He's not going to be the savior.
He's not going to be a savior.
Let's be realistic.
But like I said, the way I feel about the game now is changing a lot because you're starting to see a lot less big 3 mentality. Yeah. The big 3 mentality where it's like, yo, we're going to find the big 3. They're going to do everything. They're going to average all the points, get all the rebounds. We're going to ask them to do all the heavy lifting, and we're going to round out the rest of the roster with a bunch of boogie cousins. Like, nah, like that's gone now. You're starting to see the Bruce Browns. You're starting to see the Struces. You're starting to see the guys that are the undervalued guys that can come in and give you 9. Them 9 points can be the difference between the game, you winning and losing. It's crazy. So now I need my bench to be solidified as much as I can. And if I'm going with slim pickings, I'm going to develop some guys and figure out if I got some guys in that rotation to get ready for playoffs, because that's what matters.
Yeah, Jerome didn't play. He's never actually played in a postseason game, which we talk about guys you can look down your bench and play. Well, he's been on a couple of playoff teams and has never played a postseason minute. That's not to disparage him, just keeping the reality of what you're bringing in here. He's a backup, potentially third-string backup point guard. Here's what he does do very well. He's a facilitator. He's got a 3.2-to-1 career assist-to-turnover ratio, which is among the best in the league. Now, granted, he doesn't play as much. Those numbers are always going to be a little skewed, but I'd much rather have a guy with a 3.1 coming in off the bench than essentially a 1-to-1. I want my backup point guard to be a floor general, a facilitator. He does that very well. Defensive win shares are a tough metric to really gauge, and I don't even want to explain to you. Just know that anything positive is good, and he had a 2 defensive win share last year. So he's a plus defender at 6'5" on the wing for any situation where they may need a bigger guard to guard someone in the league. And he's only played 48 games. 48 games is the most he's ever played in the season. He has had some injury histories. He's never played a ton of minutes, but his per 36 numbers, which is just take their career numbers, drag it out in case they played starter minutes. If he was to do that, his per 36 numbers are 14.5 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. That's a pretty damn solid backup point guard.
It is.
And if you need him to play more minutes, like we saw in that Cavs game last year, I think he is serviceable. Do I think he's better than Ricky Rubio? I think it's pretty damn close right now after what I saw from Rubio last year. Yeah. Maybe Rubio, with a full year back from the ACL, can return to the form he was prior to the injury, because prior to injury, Rubio is better than Ty Jerome. But if you're not 100% confident Rubio's going to get back to that level, having a guy like Ty Jerome to be his backup or potentially his replacement is a really, really good luxury to have.
Plus, you don't necessarily – if Ricky doesn't have it anymore, you have 2 ball-dominant guards on the floor. Like, you can – one of them is going to be on the floor all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So that's one spot where you can kind of fudge or hide. You don't have to have a top-shelf backup type guy just because Donovan and Darius are always going to have the ball in their hands.
And I do think Jerome could play a little off-ball too if need be. Like, he is 6'5". He shot 39% last year, 32% career shooter for his entire career. Like, he's capable of coming off screens and at least being a spacing guy in that pick-and-roll offense. So an underrated signing, we'll see, but certainly a move that I think helps bolster the depth of this team.